Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. Thank you for joining us today on this day, the second day of the month of October. Femi Ojo is my name. Good to have you here. And yesterday was the anniversary of the 64th independence of Nigeria. Quite an event, maybe low key, so to speak, to use the language of the federal government instead of the Villa, the Eagle Scare, talking about a national event, it happened at the Villa. Maybe it showed how low key it was. Government functionaries were there. Speeches were given by the president. Almost by this time yesterday, he was reading out his speech in that nationwide broadcast. But then many things have happened. We'll be looking into that in the course of the program today. But that wouldn't be without Evelyn. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Very well.
Good morning, people. It's the day after Independence Day, and of course, it's a beautiful day. Like Femi said, it was a low-key celebration yesterday, but of course, not without the protest in some states. We heard that of Lagos, we saw that of Ibadan. Also, in the Federal Capital Territory, we had protests in these states, and some other states decided to, stay away from demonstrations. But people came out to air their opinion, their views, and make their voice heard all across the country. My name is Evelyn Ohiole, welcoming you especially to this edition of Morning Spring. It's a special edition too, should we say. It is the day after Independence Day edition.
By the way, safe to say this is Independence Week.
Yeah,
So the
it
conversation
is.
about independence is good at this time. And by the way, quickly before we go to the papers, it was quite um, a feisty, fierce one, especially as far as the atmosphere, the sky is concerned. Talking about the Middle East yesterday, barrage of missiles flying, into Israel, in Tel Aviv, and rumor has it that maybe it was done by Iran as a nation. Not just only that, in a part of Israel, some Muslim, killer men went into the street, I think at the train station, and killed some individuals yesterday. And, so much for that war that has now escalated from something that happened at the Gaza Strip, at the West Bank, to, spreading to part of the Middle East, the Lebanon, for example, Yemen, and then Iran, firing those missiles, yesterday. We learned maybe few persons been fatally affected in Israel. The Iron Dome is one device that many persons have been talking about to say, wasn't it able to pick up some of these missiles? But then it's a developing story, and it's one that is really getting people worried to say maybe the world is another back of war again. But then we expect diplomatic interventions. There have been different diplomatic interventions on the matter, but then we make you to be abreast of this information, as time passes. And at this point, we'll start our papers, the papers for today. Let me start from The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper. Protest, discontent, mar Nigeria's 64th Independence Day celebrations. Yeah. And of course, the front page of The Guardian, you can see the cutting of the anniversary cake by, the number one, two, number, how much you want to put. In putting the numbers now, number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, all of the men were there yesterday, the decision makers of this country, from the executive to the legislative arm as well. And the wife of the president is there. By the way, that was what happened at the villa and at the Independence Day celebration. Just beside that, you have the picture of the protest, National Association of Nigerian Students, in a peaceful rally to commemorate a rally rather. This one is not a protest, a rally to commemorate Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary at the Unity Fountain along Shehu Shagari Way in Abuja yesterday. And another picture on the front page still with a man holding a placard saying, please all political office holders on the minimum wage. You have it on your screen now. And that is from members of the End Bad Governance Movement protest in Lagos yesterday. And of course, beside that, the story I told you earlier. And this is a picture taken from the West Bank city of Hebron, showing projectiles above the Israeli city of Ashdod on October 1. As yesterday, Iran's Revolutionary Guard said a missile attack on the way against Israel on October 1, and in response to the killing of Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah last week, as well as that of the Hamas leader. Those pictures are quite horrifying. The videos rather, when you see series of projectiles in the air heading towards a particular direction. But then they should sort themselves out. Southwest in need of modern ranches, not open grazing of old. As the news analysis. Below that, you have Jonathan Obi advocates strong institutions as Tinubu leads Independence Day celebration, and PDP, not one-man enterprise. Governors reply Wike's ally. And below that, you have Mr. Dean Kadiremi SAN left with Mrs. Chinasa Unwabunuam SAN and senior partner Etigwe Uwasan. Some gentlemen of the judiciary and lady. I don't know, maybe there is a lady saying there in the judiciary, because everyone in the court is addressed as my lord. By the way, now El-Rufai, I didn't steal as governor. I am ready to swear with Quran. Interesting, right? ASU gives federal government 35-day ultimatum on lingering crises, and Independence Day. Governors salute Nigerians for resilience amid hardship. How come I'm reading this in another tone? Governors salute Nigerians for resilience amid hardship. Evelyn, this is sounding more like they are saluting Nigerians for having thick skin for suffering. That's how it looks for me.
Exactly. It's like giving an award to the most suffered citizens.
Group of people, yeah.
I mean, if you can put it that way,
it's, we know you are suffering, but you have the thick skin to contain it.
I mean, that was what Mr. President started his speech with yesterday. Yeah. I am aware of the pains, the sufferings of you people, and I understand what you're going through. It simply means that it's a thing when a particular group of people, when the leadership of any institution or any group of people feigns ignorance, and it's another thing when they know and they are not doing what they should, to ameliorate the sufferings of the people. It is what it is, and it's not like the governors think we have thick skins. Nigerians have thick skin. We know how to adjust. We know how to adapt.
But that should not be a compliment.
It shouldn't, but it is.
You're
probably
making them suffer, and then you are praising them for it.
Probably they know that is what we like to hear. Oh. So it is what it is.
All right, that will be all from The Guardian.
And from The Guardian newspaper, we head on to The Punch. The Punch newspaper this morning, October 1 protest record low turnout nationwide with the riders, Kaduna, Plateau, Nasarawa, others shun rally. Heavy police presence in Osun, Niger. Police arrest 10 in Kano, Port Harcourt, as NANS backs President's youth confab. And I said yesterday about this particular youth confab, I hope it will not be a replica of what we had in the year 2021. Because really, if you ask me, the National Youth Confab in that year was nothing to write home about. I hope the government is really interested in hearing what the youth have to say and implementing some of their recommendations. Away from that, Tinubu governors preach patriotism at 64th Independence Day parade. All right, and MFG extends rice subsidy program to states. Here we go again with the rice subsidy. 5 suspects arrested for allegedly killing Ogun fisherman. And Iran launches 180 missiles at Israel. Federal government plans Nigerians' evacuation. All right, like Femi said, it's a developing story, but it's not one that we should hope for. It's like an invitation to, to war.
Yeah.
But then we hope that this can be settled without any further launches. But it is what it is.
That would be a tall hope.
If there's something I know or I have seen or I've observed about the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is the fact that it doesn't back down, especially when his state is threatened. He wants to show you that this is the state of Israel and you do not mess with us.
Especially what happened last night.
So top corner, flooding worsens despite 180 billion naira spent on dams. And Port Harcourt refinery misses 7th production rollout deadline. All right, and the last one from here, Dauda Lawal. Okay, Dauda Lawal's allegation against Matawale self-serving. This coming from an analyst, and petrol imports dropped by 3.58 billion liters after subsidy removal. This is credited to the federal government, and that will be all from the Punch newspaper this morning.
Yeah, very well. This Matawale, former Zamfara state governor, who is now in the defense ministry, by the way, as Minister of State, and the incumbent governor, accusations at each other.
Yeah.
Do you know, many Nigerians will say, and I quite agree, that a serious government should not just see these things as a political talk, really, because somebody in charge has thrown accusation and he's been saying he has evidence to show that that man who was his predecessor had a lot of things to do with banditry, and he was categorical about it. And this man is still in cabinet. Isn't it in the place of the president to say, hold on, let's investigate this as well? I'm not saying you are guilty, neither am I saying you are not guilty. Or what's the function of the National Assembly on this matter? Because you might say the State House of Assembly might not be neutral because of, what some of them are.
Conflict of interest.
To the governor, you might. So the National Assembly should be investigating this matter. Office of the NSA, should stand on this matter to say what is going on. Because somebody as highly placed, if, without, conceding, if, peradventure, that man has something to do, he's sitting at the highest decision making of anything defense in Nigeria, is the Minister of State. So imagine, without considering, by the way, that he has something to do. So the war against banditry and insurgency, so what will it be? And that person with such an allegation, and the allegation is not just coming from just a regular, an average member of the public, from a governor, and everything looks. I saw the man with our Ankara, that national Ankara from the First Lady yesterday. Everybody was wearing it, and it was still there. An exchange of handshake was done between him and the president and other persons as well. We should get more serious, actually, because this is not the way a serious country, is run. Very quickly, from the Daily Trust, protest in Lagos. By the way, hashtag fearless in October. Protest in Lagos, Ondo, Oshun, halted in Abuja, and with a rider, Kano, Akwa Ibom, others, shown demonstration. And you could have the picture, a collage of images there. Northern youth celebrate Independence Day, appreciate President Tinubu with a lot of, persons there at a pavilion. Banner saying 64 Independence Anniversary, I am Nigeria, many things. But by the way, away from that, Independence Day, Jonathan Governor's mark say Nigeria will overcome challenges, right? And there is this piece, one issue that has been in the public for long about Daily Trust being told by the ombudsman to apologize for a story they took in that ill-fated Samoa agreement conversation, and now they have given their apology, saying Samoa agreement, our apology. That will be all from the Daily Trust and the newspaper segment for today. We take this quick break. When we return, President Tinubu addressed the Nigerians yesterday and he spoke on a range of things. We're going to be reviewing the conversation, just like Evelyn said. He started with the fact that I acknowledge your suffering. I know things are not the way it's supposed to be, but then please be patient with us. He spoke about the youth having a national confab, many things, the economy, the gains by this administration, the challenges, the hope. If there is any, and many persons are making the opinions not about the matter to say that address, did they really address the situations before Nigerians? Is it what Nigerians would have loved to hear, on a on a day like that? We have, a public affairs analyst. He will be joining us this morning, still Morning Spring, on Western Spring Television. Femi and Evelyn, stay with us.